we are up here in my garage, up in my attic, where I keep all of my car parts. And as you can see here, these are the shifter base bushings that I got from the Most Ariel. I believe these should actually still be tall enough to work with my TRD QuickShifter and give me the solid bushings underneath it instead of the rubbery ones that come with it. And he also sent me these aluminum lug nuts. They weigh nothing. They're super lightweight. They also have lock. They are also locking. They have a lock on here. Once I get my RPF ones, I might just strip these down to just the aluminum and run them that way for a little bit, just until I can get them painted a different color. But yeah, I'm really stoked on these because they actually cut down the weight quite a bit. All of these together weigh about 7.8 ounces or something like that. Some ludicrously low number, whereas the stock ones weigh over 2 pounds. So these guys are under a pound. I mean, they're under, I want to say they're like a half pound at best. So that should be another little weight savings in my never-ending quest to save some weight on the car. I also managed to score these sweet wood door panel trim pieces for the 4Runner from a guy. He had broken the rear one, and one of the rear ones, and he didn't want to just chuck them, but he didn't know what the value of them was, and so he just said make an offer. So I shot him $15 plus shipping, and I've got myself a set of 3 anyway, but I fathom that I can probably find one more of these rear ones from, a junkyard or a part out somewhere along the line. People seem to break them fairly often, so they're often left with just one that has all the clips intact. So hopefully we'll be able to track one down. As far as pulling these guys go, all you gotta do is just reach down here and wiggle this little guy out right here. Kind of hard to hold it up and film at the same time. Let's see what I can do. And you can kind of pinch these guys and they'll pop right out. Well, real quick, we're going to go ahead and get to changing the shifter base bushings in here. So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and get rolling. Take the shift knob off, pull that guy up, get this guy up here. And unclip this cigarette lighter right here. It's right there, that white plug we're gonna do. Go ahead and take the shift boot off. And that's round. Gives us access into here. Those bushings are going to go under there in each of the 4 corners. But to get to there, we need to pop this out, and we need to take this off. At which point, I will go ahead and fix. Oh, can you not see it from here? Hold on. Awkward lighting. That snafu. Because I can't quite get it bent back in from here. But we will deal with that when the time comes. For the moment, I'm going to go ahead and gather up a couple of tools real quick, and I'll be right back. Key components not to be forgotten here. These 2 guys down here. They're 10mm, and I currently have this to reach it. It's a 10 deep socket with 1, 2, 3 extensions, and that's just enough to reach down in there and let me work it without hitting the top of this or the sides of it or anything, and I can actually get in here and work. However, I do need to hold it with both hands, so I'm going to go ahead and undo both of these and we'll continue on. And then down here on this side, you've got this guy here, and I believe there's one more here in the back that you've kind of got to shuffle the seat around to get to, if I remember correctly anyway. There might not be. I could just be insane. It might just be those 2. Or it might just be those 2, one on each side. Okay, yeah, I'm insane. It's just those 2 on each side, the 2 in there, and then pulling this out for the top here. So go ahead and, go ahead and hit this one. Be kind of careful when you're pushing down on this. It's not 100% stable. There's this little rubber bit right here, and this is all just on a metal piece, so it can be a little wobbly at best, so just be careful. Make sure you put the adapter here. Beautiful. Tuck that back down. Put that aside. And this whole thing, oh yeah. Here's the other 2. There and there. That's right. Okay. Now. And voila. We have no more center console. I'll go ahead and get a proper deep socket to reach these guys down here, and then we'll go ahead and pull this up and switch out the shifter bushings. Go ahead and get yourself a 12 socket and undo these 4 bolts here in the corners so that we can lift up the housing and pull the clips out in the back and change out those bushings. Alright, we'll be back when I've got these bolts out. Alright, and then once you've got the 4 corners unbolted, we just need to get these 2 clamps, or C-clips, that fit over the cables pulled up. So I typically like grabbing either a pair of pliers like these, or my trusty dusty junkyard extra long curved needle nose. These are a weird pair of pliers to own. I kind of like these to do it, but all you gotta do is reach in there and those guys just come straight up, and then we'll be able to a little more easily get to like the front bushings and stuff. And then we'll go from there. Okay, and once you have those C-clamps out, you should be able to kind of slide and rock this guy back a little bit, and we should just stick it straight up like this, and we should be able to get these bushings popped out real fast. These are the ones that come stock on the TRD. As you can see, they are a little bit bigger than the ones that come on the stock one. I'll go ahead and bring the stock one down too, just so you can see the difference in the rod here. So just for a comparison shot between the TRD and the ones that I got from Ariel, these ones are a little bit bigger. They're also quite a bit wider, which is what surprised me the most, was that they were quite a bit wider, which will give it a more solid base to sit on. Shouldn't affect the shifting too much. I'm not really worried about the height raising. As far as I'm concerned, that will bring my shift knob closer to my hand on the wheel, which is right where I want it. So you can also take a look, if you're ever looking for a TRD one and they don't have the box, there's no real part number on these that I can see, at least not on the stock one. So you can look and see the stock one, if it's sitting how it's supposed to be oriented, has a gooseneck that kind of comes over and to the right, whereas the TRD one has a much more aggressive gooseneck that goes over to the left on it. It should also have these metal shifter base bushings, these smaller stainless ones, versus the rubber ones that are in here, the rubber metal combo ones that come in the OEM shifter. So I'm going to go ahead and finish throwing these on. As you can see, I've already stuck one in here just to test fit it, make sure everything's going to be peachy. And then we'll go ahead and reverse the process, and we will have new blue shifter base bushings installed. Hoping they might actually firm up the feel a bit with the wider footprint on them. But we'll see. I almost forgot to weigh things. Single TRD bushing, 1 ounce. So those guys added were 4 ounces total. These larger ones, 1.4 ounces. Okay, so we can take those numbers and multiply them and add them, whatever, move them around, do what we need to do with them to keep up on our rolling weight chart, which I will hopefully try to update a little later in the video here. Well, there you have it, folks. Some nice blue shifter base bushings, slightly taller than what I had on there. Process reversed and whammo. We are back in action. Throws feel nice and short. Reverse is still very much reachable. My left hand's not used to this yet, but we'll get there. Right hand drive one day. Right hand drive one day. Here's another weight savings I hadn't considered. The cargo cover. It's standard equipment, so it's factored into the weight of the car.
pounds on there.
Looks to me like 6 pounds, 2 ounces. Beautiful. I'm actually thinking I'm going to paint this black and then probably post it up for sale. I have some black fabric paint that I used to do some of the interior bits in the Celica. Should do great for this. I'll paint it, I'll get it cleaned up and paint it black and probably sell it. Just because I don't have the rear plastics anymore, and I don't think this car's ever going back to stock, so I'm not concerned with holding on to it. With the rear plastics out, I can't use it anyway, so if you're interested, drop me a message, comment, whatever, and maybe we can work something out. Don't forget, I am giving away these 4 Hot Wheels cars. Go ahead and subscribe and comment on my last video. I will leave a link to it here right now, also in the video description. Once I hit 50 subscribers, the giveaway will end, and I will go ahead and randomly select 4 people that commented on that video to win one of these cars. I've got a 95 Mazda RX-7, a custom O2 Acura Integra GSR, a 2016 Honda Civic Type R, and a 2018 Honda Civic Type R. So, if you want to win one of these, go ahead and all you gotta do is subscribe and comment on that video. On this week's call-out list, we have Rafa's Garage. He's got an Evo and a Celica as well. Making me feel like maybe I need to get an Evo. But not right now. He's got tons of videos. He's got videos going back for quite a ways. So there's definitely lots to see here, lots to look at, lots to watch. Another great guy to have in the Celica community. Definitely somebody you don't want to be sleeping on. I apologize, I got the hiccups like just now. Next is 2ZZLO. He's got another bunch of subscribers too. He's got a ton of videos. He often he's going to junkyards and pulling parts. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. If you want to get any chance at grabbing those any of the parts that he pulls off of some of these Celicas, or any of the other cars. Super great guy, full of tons of good information, another great personality in the Celica community. Make sure you're following him and checking out what he's got going on. And last but not least, I have a shout out to the _01_Celica_GGS on Instagram. He asked for a quick shout out, so I'm shouting him out here. Make sure you give him a follow on Instagram as well. I apologize again about the hiccups, they're killing me. Thanks everybody, see you soon.